It's all about the Candy Crush craze. When I am sitting at my kids' Taekwondo class, when I'm standing in line at the grocery store, when I go onto Facebook, all these women in my life are, will you accept my invitation to play Candy Crush?
Sure. I think that's a great point, and I think it goes well beyond Candy Crush. I think as the mobile market grows, you see more and more women engage with games, right? And so, as you pointed out, it's currently the largest. One of the largest demographics in terms of folks playing mobile games. And I think Candy Crush is one example, but you also see games like the recent Kardashian game by Glue, which is one of the top grossing games on mobile, and a number of other titles that do really well.
But is it mobile, no pun intended, that changed the game for women? Because 10 years ago, I don't know any women who are holed up in their basement playing Halo.
I think that's exactly right. The mobile devices in terms of iPhones and Android devices have really changed the game, so to speak, right? So you have folks now playing games in their living room when they have a few spare moments of time, and I think you're also seeing games with quick chunks of gameplay, what Apple refers to as quick fix games, which is one of the areas that we're focused on at Tapinator. So instead of folks spending minutes playing games, folks are spending tens of seconds, right? So games like Flappy Bird, for example, which recently did very well, and we launched a game called Balance of the Shaolin, which also takes advantage of that by having 30-second chunks of gameplay. While you're waiting for the elevator, while you're waiting for a moment to occur in your life, you have 30 seconds to play a given level in a game.
What kinds of games do you find most successful with a female audience?
I think it's a fairly broad range. So I think you have games like Candy Crush, like the Kardashian game. I also think that when you look at casino games, for example, slot games, they do very well within the female demographic. So the majority of slot. It's a theme that resonates, right? So I think a lot of the casino players in the real money casinos are females, and I think that demographic has now moved to mobile, right? So they're sitting in their living rooms playing slot machines, and it's a market that monetizes very well in terms of in-app purchases and revenue.
What's the best monetization model?
So I think the in-app purchase monetization model is the best model. Freemium, exactly. When you look at King, when you look at Glue, the stuff that we Tapinator focus on is the in-app purchase side of things. I think it's an area that's more difficult to crack than the advertising side, obviously, because with ads, you could just display an ad and expect that you will earn a certain CPM off of those ad units. But the in-app purchase, the scale of the opportunity is much larger than with advertising.
So for you, what's the biggest challenge you face right now? Women are more interested in the gaming space. How are you going to capture more? What are you going to do to bring them in?
Sure. So I think I think the mobile gaming market is very competitive. Obviously, lots of companies competing with each other to capture the demographic. I think it's about introducing more innovative types of gameplay, right? Having a polished game, polished interface. Levels that cater to that demographic.
What's the average amount of time a woman is playing a game versus a man?
So I think on average, women spend more amount of time playing mobile games and also spend more money. I think the percentages are about 30 to 40% of the in-app purchase revenue is higher.
They play for longer periods of time, or they play more often?
Both. So the percentages are about 20 to 30% in terms of both frequency and duration of play, as well as the in-app purchase monetization, which is one of the key areas that we just spoke about on the revenue side.
And what have you found as the most successful strategy for marketing your product? There are so many games, and a fairly large number of games that get an outsized amount of attention, like Candy Crush, for example. How do you stand out
in a crowded
field?
And obviously Kim Kardashian's game.
So at Tapinator, we've achieved critical mass within a few different categories, such as simulation and driving games. And so we use our existing network extensively to cross-promote. And as a result, our marketing cost is lower than many other companies out there. But I think it's very important to make sure that the core metrics are right before you spend money on user acquisition, because there's so much competition. The cost of user acquisition is fairly high in terms of buying installs, right? I think that also the platform providers themselves, Apple, Google, and Amazon, control a lot of that in terms of the featured listing. So when you go to the App Store homepage and you see the featured section, that will drive a lot of volume.
And where have you had on which platform have you had the most success?
So we've had the most success on Google Play, with iOS as a close number 2, and then Amazon behind iOS.
Do you feel the need to partner with a celebrity? When you look at the massive success of the Kardashian game, do you want to partner with a Miley Cyrus? You said it's so competitive.
So we're certainly looking at those types of deals in terms of branded products. Currently, we're working on a video poker app, for example, where we're looking at some of the celebrities that could be a good fit for that product.
Tobey Maguire, Ben Affleck, Leo.
Exactly.
Yeah, but they're all men, right? What if women?
Yeah, but those are men that women like.
Exactly. If you're going after the female demographic, you want the product to appeal to that market, right?
Yeah.
And,
I'm not talking about a guy in his basement playing Dungeons and Dragons.
I
like
get that
Leo,
part.
that's a different one.
Exactly. So, I think that the celebrity branding element is certainly a great way to differentiate a product, right? Otherwise, if the product wouldn't stick out from all of the other different products that compete with it. But the Kardashian game is a perfect example, right? Glue repurposed one of their existing engines.
Okay, then who, from a marketing standpoint, the demographics, who is a dream partner for you in creating a new app, a new game? Kim's taken.
So, we've looked at a few different brands, and we're currently in discussions with some of those brands. An example is on the casino side, brands like James Bond, for example, right?
Oh, that's a good one.
So there are a few different brands that we think resonate. I think it depends on also the type of game that you're looking at. Clearly for a game like Glue's Kardashian game, the Kardashian brand is great for that engine.
Right.
But if the engine were different, there would be a completely different brand that would resonate, given the pairing between the celebrity and the game.
That brand sells to Erik in a big